piece of moon sample being cracked open finally for testing in regards to the upcoming Artemis program. God, I can't see anything. I need to zoom in. Here we go. Where are we? Oh no. All right, whatever. Here we go. 50 years later, they unveil one of the last sealed Apollo samples. Like a time capsule that was sealed for posterity, one of the last unopened Apollo-era samples collected during Apollo 17 has been opened under the careful direction of lunar sample processors and curators in Astronomical's Research and Exploration Science Division at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston. This precious and well-preserved sample will serve as a narrow window into the permanent geological record of Earth's closest celestial neighbor, the Moon. Before NASA goes back for more samples, this time the Moon's south pole during the agency's upcoming Artemis missions, the Apollo Next Generation Sample Analyst Program is studying some of the last few lunar samples that NASA has kept unopened, in pristine condition, awaiting the day when scientists' equipment with improved scientific and technological methods could examine them. This is sick. There's a good video on YouTube. I want to say it's Veritasium. He went to one of the sample processing places, and it's maybe a 45-minute video of them going through how they do it, getting suited up, and basically how they cut open lunar samples. So I'd highly recommend watching that. I should have had that in the links ready, but whatever. More reading and quotations. Quote, "We have had an opportunity to open up this incredible, precious sample that's been saved for 50 years under vacuum. And we finally get to see what treasures are held within. The day finally came for sample 73001, which was first vacuum sealed on the Moon and then stored in a second protective outer vacuum tube inside the nitrogen purge processing cabinets in Johnson's lunar laboratory. Back in December 1972, astronauts Eugene and Harrison collected the lunar regolith by hammering thin cylindrical sample collection devices and drive tubes into a landslide deposit in the Moon's something valley, capturing layers of ancient history for science to pore over. The sample 73001 is the lower half of a double drive tube. The upper drive tube, sample 73002, was returned from the Moon in a normal unsealed container, which was opened in 2019. The ANGSA science team has been studying its layers of small rocks and soil and is eager to see what the lower half holds. So they only open the top half, so even the deeper stuff is what they're about to uncover. Before the ARES team extrudes the drive tube of 73001, extensive scans were taken at the University of Texas at Austin Jackson School of Geosciences using X-ray CT technology to capture high-resolution 3D images of samples makeup inside the tube. This will be the permanent record of what the material inside the core looks like before it got pushed out and divided into half-centimeter increments. The drive tube was very full, which is one of the things we learned with the CT scans, and it caused a slight complication to how we were initially planning to extrude it. But we have been able to adapt using these scans. Last month, the team first worked to capture any gas presence within the outer of the projection tube. So they're opening up one of the last lunar samples from 50 years ago, and preparing for the Artemis program.